Everybody. Today we're going to do some fun stuff as you read in the paragraph beforehand. So here's my little setup, which is over kind of behind the video camera over there. And what I'm going to do is just try to get some basic exposure, get going on this little exercise here. So I'm kind of zooming in a little bit, and you can see my light meter is about ½ a second at f5. Well, I want to get that up to 1 second. So the full 1 second number, right? 1 second. Okay, so let's see what we can get. Change our f-stop here a little bit. And we're pretty close to right around f8. At ISO 400. It's pretty dark over there. You know, you might need to go to 800 or 1600 at home, whatever you've got. And all I'm going to do is just start the camera over kind of right behind over here. And I'm just going to swing from left to right at a 1 second exposure. So I hold the button down, I get a focus lock, and I'm going to start swinging. That was 1 second, and you can see it, you know, it doesn't look like much. Let me turn this monitor off over here. There we go. It doesn't look like much because there isn't a lot of color and isn't a lot of light there. So I would really need to slow down or lengthen the shutter time, okay, to maybe 2 seconds. But let's try 1 second, and let's just go really slow and see what we can do. Okay, just went really slow. Now that's a little better. We have a lot more color in that, right, compared to the previous picture where I was going kind of fast. Now with this one, you can see I went really slow, and I got a lot more color in it. And that's actually kind of pretty now. We got some pastels in there, and you know, that's just that setup sitting right over there. Okay, so there isn't much to it, and I just put some colorful objects in the corner of the room down here, and that's moving a little slower. Okay, well, I'm going to run over there real quick and turn a small light you'd use to work on your car or something, and I turned that on low power, a little battery operated light. So we'll have a little bit more of a pinpoint light source. So again, I hold the button down, achieve a focus lock, back up a little bit, start my movement, then drop the shutter. Okay? And this one I moved at a little bit of an angle. You can see that light now showing up there. Okay? Well, let's get that a little bit better here. I'm going to move the camera not horizontally like this, but at an angle, and maybe curve a little bit as I do it. But 1 second's not a long time, as you're going to find out here. I went a little faster. Let's see how we did. Come on. This camera has been acting up today. There it goes. So we got some cool looking colors going in that direction like that. That's kind of fun how that's kind of jumpy. That's kind of cool. That actually looks pretty good. So you're seeing the light lighting up on the pillows there a little bit, those red pillows. Well, that's kind of cool, but let's go to 2 seconds. So we have a little bit more time to work, right? So if I go 2 seconds, now if I do that, and I point at my scene again, you can see it tells me I'm overexposed. So I have to do equivalent exposure. So I was at 1 second. So now I have to go to 2 seconds. I was at f8, so I want more light on the shutter. I need to go less light on my aperture. So I'm going to go to f11. So one stop more light on the shutter, 1 stop less light on the aperture. And now I've got 2 seconds to move around. Now I can actually do a little bit more with this, right? So I'm going to try something. I'm going to zoom the lens all the way. I have a 24 to 105 on this camera. I'm going to start out at 24 millimeters, as wide as I can. If you have 18 to 55, start at 18 and zoom into 55 over the 2 seconds of the shutter. Right? So ready, and click, and zoom. That wasn't the smoothest zoom, but let's see what we get here. Well, that's kind of fun, right? A little tie-dye looking, actually, all the colors kind of going. Let's try that again and go a little bit faster on the zoom. I'm going to turn my hand around so I can operate the zoom a little bit smoother here. Ready? And go. There, that should be pretty good. I was able to zoom right into the center of the frame there. That one's kind of fun. All right. Let's try the, there you go, so I'll get that one for a second. Let's try the opposite. I'm going to zoom all the way in, and now during the exposure, I'm going to zoom out and go wider, okay? So I get my focus lock, and ready, and click. So that'd be kind of different. There we go. That, whoops, hitting too many buttons. That looks really cool. I like that one a lot. That's really fun. Except I started off and clicked the shutter and I hadn't started moving yet. So that's why you can read the Clorox wipes there in the frame. So I actually need to start moving ahead of time, as I said in the writing before this example on the example before the video here, right? So I'm going to start, and I'm going to start my zoom. Ready, and zoom. Now click the shutter. Let's see how that one comes out. That should be a little bit more what I'm looking for, that we can't see. Come on. Technology, you know, there it goes. That's better. We can't quite read it, and we're seeing a little bit of the blur of the light. I kind of like that one's kind of fun. These are great colors on the outside here. And you saw how slow I was, 2 seconds, right? That's a pretty long time. But let's do more, right? Let's go to 4 seconds. So that's 1 stop more light. 2 seconds to 4 seconds, that's double. So that's 1 stop more light. So we have to go 1 stop less light on our f-stop, meaning in my case, I'm going to go to f16, okay? Now I'm going to start here, and I'm going to hold the camera like this and turn it as I do my exposure here, right? So I'm going to start off way over here. I got a focus lock, start my movement, then drop the shutter. Let's see if we can create a little vortex here or something. There we go, that's kind of interesting. We got some nice pretty colors there, lots of variety of things. I wiggled probably a little bit too much in my movement here, but we've got 4 seconds to deal with. So I'm going to do another one. I'm going to start up in the ceiling, and I have some lights in the ceiling from the room, and I'm going to zoom out here a little bit and get a composition I like. Get my focus lock, move all the way up, and I'm going to let these lights streak as I come down from the lights in the ceiling. Ready? So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, should get a nice vertical sweep with those lights. Yeah, that's kind of cool. So you can see the lights are in the ceiling, and they were able to streak down quite a bit, and then all the colors in the background. So that's pretty cool. You can do a lot of really creative looks by moving the camera and adding some light and doing some things. So let's do that. Let me go and turn on another light over here, and you can see what I'm going to do. I'll swing the camera over so you can see. So here's my little setup, right? So I'm going to turn these battery-operated LED lights that I showed you in the previous video on, right? I think what I'm going to do is turn these lights off, so we'll have some nice light in the foreground, and then we have this small little work light on in the background. Let's see how that goes. So let's swing back over here. so you can see what I'm going to do. There, that's pretty good. Okay, let's see what we can do with this setup over here, okay? So again, you can kind of go through some of the basic functions, right? Get a focus lock. Now I've got 4 seconds, okay? So I'm going to stay on those like little Christmas lights and just move around a little bit in the frame. Okay? Ready? I got a focus lock. Ready? Get a composition. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see how we did with that. Well, that's pretty cool. All I did was start at the top, go down, and then swing around to the right and then go off the frame. So I started, I went down, and then swung around and off. Right? So that's pretty cool. I might be a little overexposed here at 4 seconds at f16, especially with that other light on the bottom. So I might go to f18 or f20. Let's try that and see how that is. So for this one, I think I'm going to do try to do a zoom in on those lights. Okay, so ready and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Might be a little abstracty, I don't know. That's kind of cool. So that all that jumbling is from me wiggling the camera. Now I have the stabilizer on. You can try turning your stabilizer off, because some of that wiggling is the stabilizer trying to catch up with the camera movement. So if you want cleaner lines, you might want to try turning your stabilizer off when you're doing some stuff like that. So, you know, light sticks, glow sticks, Christmas lights just wrapped around a stick, anything will work, right? So let's try a couple more here. I'm going to get a focus lock, and let's just start. I'm going to do a up and down and then move pan left to right on this as I go. Ready? And 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that came out really cool. I like that one a lot. That one's really nice. So a tremendous amount of fun that you can have with doing motion and movement with lights to create various types of patterns and motion blur. Okay, you could also do stuff with a flashlight. And give me a second, I'm going to stop the video and restart it, and I'm going to do a couple of things real quick with the other camera I have set up here with a flashlight. Okay, cool. See you in a minute. So here was our last setup, or our last shot that we did. So now we're going to do something completely different. I went to 8 seconds because I have to walk over there to do this. I'm going to turn my flashlight on. So if you have your phone, you could certainly do that. Make it a real small beam, so it's not real broad and flat, and so it's real narrow, as narrow as you can get it. And set your camera up on a tripod or put it on a table so you can, get you in the picture, and put it on the timer. Remember, we have the timer in our drive section, which will let us do a 10-second or a 2-second timer, okay? So put it on the timer so that we can do that. So I'm going to put this on a 2-second timer so that I have a little bit more time to walk over there. So drive, 2-second timer, okay? Hit OK. So now I'm going to punch this, and it won't go off for 2 seconds, and then it'll give me 8 seconds to do something with my flashlight here. So here we go. I have no idea. Let's see what's going to happen. 1, 2. Let's see how we did. Yeah, so I just kind of, you can see the lights in the background here. I'll get rid of the paper plate. I just kind of pointed the light at the camera and just kind of swirled around, then I pointed the light at my face for a second. Okay? So I need to have a little bit of light on so we can actually do the video. So let's try that again. And I'm going to get rid of the paper plate, because that reflects a lot of light. And I think I'm going to turn off one of the LED Christmas lights things here. And let's go back. Still got it set up. And now we can do this again. There we go. See how we did? Okay. So I did just did some curly cues out in front of me. Obviously I have more room to work, so I'm going to do this wider now. So I just did like this with the flashlight, kind of pointing it at the camera, and then I shined the light on my face a little bit. Actually, I got it on my neck. I didn't get much of my face. Okay, so let's do that. I'll get the flashlight ready again, and I'll give myself a head start here. There we go. That should be better. See how we did? A little bit. Now you can see my face a lot more because I shined the light on my face after I did some stuff. Okay, well I've got a lot more room to work with, so I'm going to make much bigger movements with the flashlight, okay? So let's try that now. Actually, I might go to 10 seconds here. Let's see how that goes. Okay. Now it takes about 10 seconds for it to write it to the card. And you can see I still have a great deal more space to work with, or I could zoom in a little bit so I can get a little bit more onto me, a little bit tighter, okay? But I'm going to try one more thing here, a little bit different. I'm going to put the flashlight down for now, and I'm going to grab the Christmas lights, and I'm going to move those instead of moving the camera. I'm going to move the Christmas lights. I can get my tape off here. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to move the lights around, and we should get some pretty cool looking stuff with this. Ready? We're on 10 seconds. I think I can go back to 8 here. Okay, ready? And here we go. 1, 2. Let's see how we did. Wow, that looks really cool. That came out great. I'm pretty happy with that one. I could slow down a little bit in my movements and the color will be saturated even a little bit better, but some of these are really good color saturation here. Right, you could plug Christmas lights in, have a cord. I used to do that. I have another setup like this in the studio where I have it plugged in and I have gels over white lights. That looks pretty cool. Let's try that again. Making a little bit of a different movement here. A bunch of different movements in here. Kind of swirled it around. There we go. This looks cool. I like this. That looks really cool there. Come on, there we go. That looks really cool there. I like the colors there. So you see, you can have a lot of fun playing around with this and create some interesting, shall we say, light abstracts with various kinds of light sources. You could get little gels or colors to put over, or even tissue paper that has different colors. You could put that over the flashlight. You could certainly even use your phone screen and put, say, a picture of blue sky on it and use that as your light source to do your, we kind of call this light painting a little bit. So it's a lot of fun to play around with, so have fun with this, okay? And we'll do some more, another video where we'll look at freezing motion and doing now a fast shutter speed as opposed to, you know, a very, very long shutter speed, you know, like this is. Now this is 8 seconds, right? So pretty cool looking stuff, lots of fun you can have with either, right, the aspects of motion, right? We did camera moving, object still, right? I move the camera around. That's what all of these shots were like, right? Where are they? Back up here, right? This is camera moving, object still, right? The camera's moving, the objects are still. And then these last couple pictures we did, right? That's object moving, camera still. So we did the opposites, right? So that's camera still, object moving, right? So that's kind of fun, a different way to look at doing things with two aspects of the kind of three aspects of moving the camera. Okay, great. See you next video.